As an introvert with health issues, I'm finding it difficult to figure out what I can do. I can't get to protest, and COVID 19 will most possibly kill me. But what we can do is reach out to our leaders so they don't forget what our cause really is. My name's Nick Tabor. I'm a personal trainer. I've been working on doing more podcasts than doing videos, and the idea of what I wanted to do was do a podcast along with a video, but with everything going on right now, it really was not appropriate to be able to produce the content and with stuff that I just wasn't feeling. I am a person who does have health issues, and with my cerebral palsy, if I contract COVID 19, there is a very likely chance I would not survive it with those particular issues. So I've been avoiding the protest, and I've been avoiding mass gatherings. Obviously, I have to have a mask on in order to be able to get through it. But I realize that, a lot of people are possibly struggling as well. So I wanted to do this video. My biggest fear right now is all these protests and people making our statements and doing the right things. What's going to happen is they are not going to be heard in the long term. We have a lot of politicians right now who are from the old generations who just, let's put it straight in, plain words. I feel that a lot of them do not give a shit about this. They do not want to change the anything. They don't want to change the system. They don't want to care. But they may be up for re-election, so of course they want to care. But what we need to do in order to take control and change things is we need to get in the heads of these people. So this is what I've been doing. I spend most of my morning of the day recording this, emailing congressmen, making sure that I let them know what's going on, what I'm doing, and how I feel. And it's very easy. I mean, if you have an internet connection, you can simply figure out who it is. The best way to do it is through Facebook. And I feel a lot of guilt. Like, my other podcast, Movie Theater Time Machine, we have done a lot of work on what to do this month with putting out some content on Black Lives Matter, and also, things that we've learned, with and where we can donate with bailout funds, and also places and opponents of political of politicians that who are standing against the current people who want to be able to do change, and we want to do different things. But again, people are going to want to wait for them just to go away and wanted just to go away. And I think that's the biggest problem that we've had over the past few years is it's gone out in social media. People have said their piece, people have done things, and we haven't done our best. And I mean, I'm guilty of this myself. But what we need to do is we need to do more. And I'm getting ready for a different phase. And myself, it's get in the heads. And this is where we want to do it, because we want to get in the heads and we want to contact them and get things changed. And we want to make sure our current congressional leadership does, our representatives, excuse me, because they don't lead, we do. They know that we're pissed off. They know that we're mad. And yes, you see it in the news, but once you hear it from them and they hear from us, yeah, it's going to have a resonating effect. So let's go through a 3-step process and what you can do in order to reach out and, to be able to help. So number one, what you can do is you want to know who your representatives are. And a lot of folks absolutely do not know who they are. Was guilty of this myself, but one of the best ways you can do it is you can go to Facebook, go to look up your government, look up your government officials, and they do a really good job actually putting the government officials from who represents you in your city, of who your mayor is, who your representative is in a city council, all the way up, and all the way up to the presidency. So who is your state rep, who is your senator, who's your House of Representative. and at the state level and the federal level. The federal level is what we're talking about right now. So everybody has the internet and everybody has cell phones. I would recommend not doing this on social media. Okay, step two, we've got to contact them. Contact them and say your piece and talk to them. If they have particular hours or if they have something, a Zoom conference or whatever, where we can get out there and talk to them and say, hey, this is what we have. This is what we're doing. This is what I want to say to you. Great. Otherwise, we need to be able to vocalize that and leave messages. There are also places where we could send emails to them, but make sure, dig a little deeper and make sure that you can find a way to fax them, because then they physically have a piece of paper that they could bring out onto congressional floors and talk about it. I've seen that has a great impact as well. Otherwise, get your message across that this is what you want to see, whatever, wherever it may be. For me personally, I contacted my rep, and I live in Massachusetts, and we have a very good senator body and a very, very good House of Representatives. So mine is Ed Markley, and also Elizabeth Warren. And I do have the personal phone number of the office of Bernie Sanders, which he's not my representative, but that's definitely a dude I want to make sure I have my voice heard, because he does speak very, very loudly about all the issues I care about. So we want to make sure that it's understood. Let them know everything, and of course, your best way to do that is to try to be as polite as possible about it, but express your disdain, and just ultimately let them know that you're a constituent as well. Because that definitely helps, because they will take listen, and even if it gets to the point like I told them that I plan on voting differently if I don't see you do action. They listened. They were right there. Step 3, follow up with them. Okay. We may not get everything that we say we want, but we have to be able to work collectively. Are we going to get to defunding the police? I don't know. But if it's something like what I told them I wanted to see was I wanted to see better community involvement. I also wanted to see a lot of mental health work with the police and the cops. And I wanted to make sure that we as a society have a way to hold them accountable. So there's a lot of internal affairs with police, but I wanted to make sure if we establish this, that we have a person in government, not just the mayor, but somebody who's in charge, who oversees this from outside the police and oversees everything that they do, representing for us. And you can have the internal affairs, but also another thing that I told them that I wanted to see was, for every 5 days that a police officer might be on duty, to be able to have 2 days R&R, that is a given. 2 days off that they cannot be called in so they can decompress. If you have, for every month, you have 3 days given within the paid time that they must go ahead, talk to a psychiatrist or talk to somebody about what they see and remind them that there is good in the world. Also, what I wanted to see was to have people not only have access to mental health, but have access to the community, where officers are assigned to particular communities and neighborhoods, even in this city. And this was my local request when I contacted them, was to make sure that the officers, we know who they are. Like, we know we can easily find out who represents our government, but we want to make sure that the officers on patrol, that the citizens know who's patrolling and that we know who is there. So that way, at least if there's an issue, we can go to somebody. I want to go up to the officer and make sure they know me, I know them. I got nothing to hide. But, if we go up to them and say, hey, this is what I see, that's just my thing. And the plan is to constantly follow up on these ideas. We're not going to get everything. I know everything I just said is not going to be there. but I want to make sure that it, what it is I get heard. It's like, okay, yes, thank you very much, citizen. Thank you. No. I don't want to be just thank you very much, citizen. I want to be sure that we do. You know, we hold them accountable too because they work for us. We don't work for them. We're in charge. We're in charge of the society. Okay, and there we are. So, hope you follow these steps well. Be good. Let's go fight. Let's climb. I will see you in more videos coming next week. As of right now, it is just not the time to push more videos out. So hopefully this helps. I will produce more content later on. Have an amazing day. Let's go forth. We climb. See you soon.